is former Senator Thayer for sure of Gilbert. Thayer for sure was consistently one of the most conservative legislators down there at the state capitol, serving this state well from his home seat in Gilbert. And to introduce our next speaker, here is Thayer for sure.
Thank you, Tom. Well, folks, it's a real pleasure to be here, and I won't take up a lot of your time because I know that, the person whom I'm introducing has a lot more important things to say. But I got to tell you, it has been a privilege over the years to know Senator and President Russell Pearce. Russell's been a great man. He's done a great job for this state. And, he's a man of a lot of courage. There's a lot of folks out there who try to shout Russell down, who try to keep him quiet, who try to back him away from doing the things he knows are right. And no matter how hard they try, no matter what pranks they pull, no matter how hard the newspapers try to defame him, Russell has been consistently courageous and standing up for our rights. And what a beautiful night. And I got to tell you, it's a pleasure for me to introduce to you my good friend, Senate President. And I'll tell you one thing, Russell, right now, the Senate is on a course, and this legislature is on a course for the first time, I believe, if I understand correct, since Mark Killian was the Speaker of the House, to be done in 100 days. That's what you talk about, efficient government. And it's because Senator Pearce, President Pearce, has been pushing very hard to get those goals done. He's pushed out a balanced budget without gimmicks, pushed it out of the Senate. Congratulations to those senators who all voted for that. And he has done a magnificent job in running the trains down here and making sure they get out in the 100 days. And it's my pleasure to introduce to you President Russell Pearce.
Well, the first thing Tom did is give me a little clock here that says 10 minutes. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for showing up. I get very disappointed when we have folks who disrespect our flag, disrespect our country. Shame on those folks. Patriotism is defined in kind of an interesting way. The essential study of patriotism was one that has not only his love for their country, but love for the principles and the rule of law that make this the nation that it is. Again, folks, I love the Tea Party movement. I was Tea Party before Tea Party was cool. I love what we've done to this country, and it's not done. Well, they have 20,000 people here. This is their country. This is the country we've got to preserve for our children, our grandchildren, and our great-grandchildren. We owe them that. I love reading about the Founding Fathers, and I read about the real George Washington, the real Thomas Jefferson, the real Benjamin Franklin. I think I know Thomas Paine. I've read the entire speech by Patrick Henry. Not just give me liberty, give me death. Committed their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor for what we enjoy today. And I see that erosion happening. I see a return to removing some of that erosion. But it worries me. And one of the things I want to talk about is clearly what we've done here in Arizona to set the pace for this country. We are the model for what's happening in America. We have set the pace, and we will continue. We're just about ready to get to know each one of the United States Supreme Court justices by first name as they continue to sue us. They sued us on Prop 200. They sued us on the English Language Learner Program. They've sued us on employer sanctions. They sued us on Prop 100. They're sued us on SB 1070. In fact, it's kind of interesting. Sanctuary policies in this country are illegal. They're illegal under federal law, 8 U.S.C. 1644, 1373. They're illegal. And yet, when Arizona decides to remove those and demand that our border be secured, demand our laws be enforced, what's the response of our federal government? They sued us. The first time in the history of the United States that a sitting president has taken sides with a foreign government to sue its own citizens. it is nonetheless impeachable. I don't apologize for standing up for my country. I don't apologize for demanding the laws be enforced. I don't apologize for demanding that our borders be secured. And what is the federal government's response? Well, no longer we can protect that border, or their refusal to, and we have trained assassins from within 30 miles of Phoenix. Napolitano puts a sign up, Americans stay out, it's dangerous. That's not the response I expect from my government. Well, I'll tell you, here's what's going on, and I will be brief. Tom Jennings said I will be. I've got to tell you, I love this country with all my heart. And again, these folks back here who disrespect everything we stand for are not going to slow down the job we have to do. I not only have a son that was critically wounded and fortunate to be alive today while doing his duty as a deputy sheriff enforcing gun laws, and was shot multiple times by an illegal alien. I've been shot at and missed, and I've been shot at and hit. In fact, I tease my wife all the time. You know I'm a Republican, some of you probably know that. But I'm a patriot and a constitutionalist above all else. But I tease people, there's a good reason why I'm a Republican. When I was shot by some young Hispanic gang members years ago, I had a finger shot up and I was shot through the chest. If I'd had a heart, I'd be dead today. So I want you to know I owe my life to this party. But in all seriousness, we have a battle of epic proportion. We have a battle of saving this republic. It doesn't just end with border security. And I thank Sheriff Joe Arpaio for his vigilance. And he does deserve your applause, your appreciation, your love, and your support. Let me tell you real quickly, we've done a lot of things. I don't know if everybody can remember. Got Sheriff Joe there with a John Wayne picture, another one of my heroes, John Wayne. Where's John Wayne when you need him today? Well, pretty close. We have a battle, like you say, of epic proportion, folks, but here's what we've done. And make no mistake about it, we've done a lot. The work's not done, though. The work is not done. In this budget this year, I'm giving some additional funds to Sheriff Joe to fight the immigration and human smuggling activities. In this fund, I've given Sheriff Joe some money so he can go after illegal employers that compete illegally, dishonestly, and illegally against the honest employer. 26-year high in unemployment. 26-year high in unemployment. And we still have folks out there who want to employ illegal aliens at a lower wage while Americans are displaced. It's a sad day for America. We've got to take our country back. We started a long time ago, and again, I've been at the forefront of a lot of these battles. I've been at the forefront when I was with the Sheriff's Office, and I'm a former Chief Deputy of Sheriff Joe. And again, I always tease Sheriff Joe, and he doesn't mind, he takes teasing very well. But I like to tease Sheriff Joe because I was there as the Chief Deputy when we started this, when he first got elected. And I want to tell you, I am proud of Sheriff Joe. He has been a good student. It's not a smile at him. You need to take that picture, folks. But it is a battle. It takes more than Sheriff Joe, though. It takes every single one of us. But what we've done in this state, you know, and again, been in this battle for years. I helped Governor Feinstein put together what's called GET 'em, Gang Immigration and Enforcement. I changed it to Gang Immigration and Immigration, Gang Intelligence and Immigration Enforcement. Added 200 officers to that enforcement activity, and 50 of them dedicated to the border. We've given money, and again, the sheriff has been visited. We wrote Prop 200 that I wrote, and you guys passed it overwhelmingly. No benefits, be a citizen before you vote. I know that's not like Chicago, but in Arizona we think once you're dead, you ought to stop voting. So we put those standards in place. We passed Prop 100. By the way, we're being sued on that and just won that battle. A bond. I mean, the constitutional amendment says no bond for illegal aliens. No bond if you commit a serious crime in this country. You're illegally here, and there are those that would have you returned to the streets after committing a serious crime when you don't belong here in the first place. We just won that battle. We've been sued on employer sanctions. Again, been to court 7 times on Prop 200, been to court 5 times on employer sanctions, been to court on Prop 100, going to court on 1070. We've won every battle. except on 1070, and we will win those battles. We will win. We'll appeal this to the United States Supreme Court, but I want to make it very clear. 1070 is a success. Most of 1070 is in place. It is illegal in the state of Arizona to have a policy that limits and restricts law enforcement to enforcing the law to the slightest degree. It is illegal, and we the people, that founding phrase in our founding document, we the people will sue any city, state, county that has a policy that limits or restricts law enforcement to the slightest degree, and that is a $5,000 fine per day that policy stays in place. Those things are in effect. We will not retreat from this battle. Real quickly, let me tell you what's happened since we started this. Let me just go back to 2007 employer sanctions. For the first time in the history of the state of Arizona, we have a declining prison population. First time ever. We normally gain 70 to 140 inmates a month net increase. We have 500 fewer inmates today in Department of Corrections than we had 1 year ago. That's a 2,000 inmate less population that normally traditionally goes there. There's a direct connection. We have saved $500 million in K-12 for a declining population. You don't see that in the paper either. Arizona has three times the declining violent crime rate the national average. 3 times our violent crime rate has decreased over the national average. There's a reason for that. There's a reason for that, because we're enforcing our laws. We're making no excuses for it. We're going to continue. We're going to do more. I've created a border security fund that is going to pay attention. I created a border commission that is going to look at recommendations. And the sheriff doesn't know yet, but he's going to be on that commission. You know, we're going to start funding. When they come up with what has to be done to enforce our laws, we're going to have a fund to fund those activities. No longer are we going to have drive-by statements. And just in closing, we owe this. We take an oath of office. It is our duty before God and our constituents. Folks, we have a battle, again, I'll say it, of epic proportion. We must be vigilant in this battle. We cannot retreat. We're not a mean-spirited folks. We believe in the rule of law, though. We must enforce our laws with compassion, but without apology. Citizens have a constitutional right to the protection of those who break our laws.
Like that guy.
Just had another shootout.
That guy right there.
Just had another shootout in Pinal County by drug cartels. We've had beheadings in Chandler. We've had contract killings in Casa Grande. We just had another cartel pursuit in Peoria. Rob Prince was murdered on the border during the debate of 1070. 12 Phoenix police officers killed and maimed by illegal aliens. Officer Martin at DPS killed by an illegal alien. Tracy Kelly killed by an illegal alien. Where does it end? We have a duty. These aren't just collateral damage to those who believe in open borders, cheap labor, and cheap votes. We will not retreat from this battle. I will not retreat from this battle. And as long as you keep giving me, Sheriff Joe and others that are vigilant in their sworn duty,
Rip off the American public.
and I know today we have a disdain for politicians. I know how to change that. If they say they're going to secure the border, let them secure it. If they say they're going to enforce the law, let them enforce it. If they take an oath of office, maybe they ought to keep it. That's all I ask from my people that I elect, is when they make me a promise, keep it, be vigilant, don't retreat from their constitutional and their godly duty to this republic. This country was founded under the hand of our Almighty God. We have a duty to our Creator and stated by our founder. God bless you.
To be a factual
Stay
statement.
vigilant, please. Stay vigilant. God bless you. God bless America.
You people don't know what America's about. It's about law. About the rule of law. All right? Equal protection under the law.